and welcome to League of Extraordinary Atheists for Humanism and Tiddlybits, where we, hi everyone, where we attempt to apply logic and reason to religion and politics. Sorry, I had to throw a goof in there.
God, that word gets me every time.
Tiddlybits.
It's just a silly, silly word. It makes me giggle. Okay.
So, welcome everyone. Yes, thank you so much for being here tonight to this wonderful, beautiful Friday night.
It is.
I hope everyone enjoyed Avengers Endgame last weekend. I hope everyone got to go watch it because it was fucking cool. And I tweeted out a picture of me dressed as Spider-Man because I went to go see it.
That's awesome.
So that's the most important news for the week. That's out. It broke all box office records. I think it got like 1.2 billion on opening weekend.
Nice.
So that's pretty cool. I had no intention of talking about that when we started, but I couldn't help myself. I thought of it and like, oh yeah, Endgame. Fucking cool. No spoilers. No spoilers. No spoilers in the chat. I will block you if I see it.
Are you serious?
Don't be that guy. Don't be that person.
Don't be that person.
Don't be that person.
It's anti-humanist to be that person. We'll put that out there.
Basically. All right. So we have a few fun topics for you guys tonight. Fun. I say fun, and the down here says Easter bombings. I'm sorry for what I am, everyone.
Yeah, we're just silly. The topic's silly. Yeah. We're silly. Yeah.
So, a brief overview of the the Easter bombings in Sri Lanka. There were some bombings. Now? 2 Sundays ago. It's been so long. And a lot of people died. It was really sad. People were there. There were multiple buildings that were bombed, hotels and churches, and they were bombed on that Easter Sunday. And what was it? It said officially at first the death toll started at 359. But soon after it lowered down to 253, and about 500 people were injured. The huge miscount was due to the misidentification of body parts, because there were a lot of body parts everywhere. It was really, really grotesque. It was really bad. It was really sad. This was an attack. This was a religious attack. I would like to make that clear. I watched Kim Iverson, who was a wonderful guest on our show recently. If you haven't seen that, go check it out. She covered this soon after this happened, and we weren't able to touch it till now, but I still wanted to touch base on this because it was really important. It was really sad. It was really traumatic for everyone involved. On her account of it, she pointed out that she couldn't find any story that said that this was an attack done on Christians. This was like the stories that she found said that this was like a religious attack, and then Obama had come out and said that something like these people who were attacked were Easter worshipers, which was strange. It was weird. And so Kim was really upset that we can't say that Christians were being attacked because mostly of this identity politics. Like, we can't say that it was Christians being attacked because they're the ones doing the attacking all the times. But hey, no, this was an attack on Christians, and it was. It's not just going to stop at Christians. This group. If I can. I don't have it down here. Do you remember the the kind of religion that it was an Islamic extremist group that committed the bombings. I can't remember what they're called. It starts with an M. Do you remember?
I know that they pledged their allegiance to ISIS in the same time period. Yes.
Yes, they did.
It doesn't matter what their name is. I wouldn't say it here. I wouldn't say it. They don't get any recognition.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
I feel bad. I don't remember, and I didn't write it out though. So that happened, and a few things that happened afterwards. I wanted to point out is that the president of Sri Lanka, if I can speak words tonight, thank you, is Maithripala.
Yeah, it's a hard one.
Yeah, Sirisena, and this kind of struck me odd and crazy, but their president said that there will be a total reorganization of Sri Lanka's security apparatus, and he argued that the prosecution of the military intelligence officers for abuses during the country's long civil war had left the nation vulnerable. Furthermore, he stated, every household in the country will be checked, and that the list of permanent residents of every house will be established to ensure no unknown persons could live anywhere. So that being said, they're doing this because they're at the time when I did the research, a lot of the people who were involved in the bombings were still at large. After I did the research, I still heard they were still finding people, but some of the people that they were finding, like the one or two of them, the husbands that were already found or killed, their wives, when they went to get them, they blew up the building that they were in. They were not going quietly. So it's important to seek these people out, right? Because they want justice, and justice should come about. But the president of Sri Lanka is going just straight authoritarian, like he's messing with other people's rights to find these people. He said every household will be checked. That's the same. That is exactly the same as like after 9/11. The police can come in every single house and check, right? Because every household in the country will be checked. He said,
insanity.
It's pretty crazy. It really is. Furthermore, and I don't have this in my notes, but I remember it. A few days after the bombing, the president outlawed any face coverings in the country.
Right.
Which is obviously going to point out Muslims in the country, because there's a I don't think they're the majority of the country. Obviously, they're a minority, but still, that's really going to fuck with their lives, because that doesn't mean that women who live there, who have to have their face coverings and their hijabs and whatnot, that doesn't mean that they could just take them off now. No, that means they have to stay home. They can't go in, because their religion and their husbands are not, and their fathers are not going to let them out of their homes. So it's really going to suppress their culture and their numbers.
Yes, these things hurt the most vulnerable of every community first, before they hurt everyone else. And unfortunately, in this situation, it's the women who now are prisoners because they can't leave their house. Yeah. Doesn't matter if I agree with their ideology. Treating them subhuman is completely wrong.
Absolutely.
Completely wrong.
I think hijabs are stupid. I think no one should have to cover their face. I don't think you need to have the little Jewish hat. I forget what it's called.
Yarmulke.
Yarmulke. That's right. Yarmulke. Damn it. Like, I don't think any of this necessary. I think it's silly. I think it's stupid. But I think everyone has the right to wear that. And I don't, and especially if you believe in these things,
right?
You believe in the negative connotations that come with nothing.
Yeah.
So it's very, very suppressive. Yeah, it's a lot of bullshit that the president went straight to this. It's just like, it's not just like, but it's comparable to isolation camps for them. It's like just setting them apart, treating them not citizens.
Yep.
A few more notes here before we move on. If I can read what I wrote, because these are names. The man who led the attacks, he was a radical preacher who had gathered up a following on YouTube, actually, where he was posting videos that included calls for violence against non-Muslims. And that's something that's important here because, as I said, this wasn't an attack. This was a religious attack, and this was an attack on Christians and Catholics.
Right.
But this isn't all that they targeted. They didn't like anyone who was non-Muslim, was the point. And they had called for violence against other religious groups as well.
Right.
Mohammed Ibrahim Mohammed Zubair, which is all one name, of the Council of Katankudi.
Yeah, it's hard.
Says that someone from our area has been linked to these attacks is really worrying for us. We are shocked and upset by it. Our community doesn't support hardliners. We believe in harmony and unity. He is from the same. He's from the same area that Zaran Hashim is from, who is the radical preacher who led the attacks. They're from the same area, and they were, I believe, part of the same Islamic kind of bigger group or type of religion. It's the National Tawheed Jamath.
Yeah.
But
I know there's
Quran,
big ones. I hate reading them out loud.
Yeah, that's why I'm doing this. Yeah. But they had broken off from the National Tawheed Jamath and just called themselves Tawheed Jamath.
Right.
And so, anyways, my point being with these notes is that this wider religious group was really upset. This community of Muslims that he's from, they were very upset and very, very worried because what the president of Sri Lanka now is doing, Sirisena, he's marginalizing them. He's treating them as they're subhuman, like all of them. Yep. And putting laws in place and going through everyone's home. And it's not fair to those who are not involved.
Right.
Obviously, everyone knows like how I feel about the Islamic faith. I think it's crap, and I think it's more violent than the Christian faith. Excuse me. But
all lies, nonetheless.
I'm sorry.
I said it's all lies, nonetheless.
All lies, yeah. They're all lies. It's all bullshit. Yeah. But we still shouldn't marginalize human beings. That's Never. My point. But all in all, this was a really, really sad event that happened. And it's still going on. They're still looking for people, and people are still dying over it. And this is going to lead to more human rights offenses. So the whole thing's sad. I'll try to keep everyone up on it when we have time to go back and recap on stories that we've covered recently. But that's all I have to say on this. Is there anything you want to touch base on, or are you ready to move on?
Nope, we're good on that one.
Good on that.
You did a great job.
Oh, thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Fantastic job.
So next up, we have Saudi capital punishment. Lead on it.
Yeah, take it away, Chris.
Take it, Christy.
All right, capital punishment as a political tool. How do you sow fear into the hearts of an entire nation? Well, mass beheadings, maybe? Saudi claims, quote, the men were executed for adopting terrorist and extremist thinking and for forming terrorist cells to corrupt and destabilize security. That's what they're saying is the reason for executing 37 human beings last week. Not this past, but the week before. So 2 weeks now. However, on their paperwork, from what we know, one of them says disrespect towards authority. Like, no reasons for murder, as far as we know right now. Crucifixions, would that be another way to sow fear in the hearts of a nation? Yeah, I said crucified. I think that that's crazy. In 2019, the Saudi government is still crucifying people. His body is strung up, as far as I know right now, still for all to see and fear. Amnesty International has reported on this, and they said, quote, today's mass execution is a chilling demonstration of the Saudi Arabian authorities' callous disregard for human life. It is also yet another gruesome indication of how the death penalty is being used as a political tool to crush dissent from within the country's Shia minority groups. Almost half of those killed were executed after taking part in pro-democracy protests. Another man that was executed, by the way, he was just 16 years old when he was arrested. He was arrested for being a part of a pro-democratic protest. The current king began his reign, the king that we have right now, in 1980. And when he also did a, there's not even words for it, a mass execution. He did 47 beheadings and 4 shootings at that time when he took reign. Crimes then included disobeying Saudi rulers. So in Saudi, crucifixions are not uncommon, like I just said, but paralysis, like being paralyzed, is something that a court can condemn a man for. He can get sentenced to being paralyzed in Saudi Arabia. I should finish that. Literally an eye for an eye as well. Saudi courts have ordered eyes to be gouged out. Human Rights Watch also reported on this. They said that one man had his eyes gouged out, and his crime was getting into a fight. Amnesty International as well. I'm sorry?
That's absolutely crazy.
It's bananas. It gets worse. Amnesty International states that people's hands, feet, and even just fingers, so hands, feet, ankles down, all of that is up for grabs in the courts there. If you're accused of stealing, I can't even wrap my mind around accusing someone of stealing and then chopping their hand off, how that goes from one to the other. I just find so barbaric. Maybe it's hard for me. Maybe it's because I am sitting in the United States of America, but to wrap my mind around cutting a body part off of a human for doing something like stealing, not for defending yourself. Story was hard. And the most bananas thing, like the thing that tops off this story with Saudi, is they sit on the United Nations human rights, like they have a seat at I can't even say it. They have a seat at the table when it comes to international human rights.
Yeah, they do, and it's that's fucking ludicrous.
It's impossible to even tell that with a straight a straight face. Like, this is what's going on right now. If excuse me, I can't be the only one that's so appalled by that news. Just,
I mean, I am too, but
they're sitting, on the Human Rights Council is what was the words. My takeaway on this is Saudi's their justice system is set up so that they can tackle and take down anyone with a dissenting voice. It doesn't even have to be the opposite of what the kingdom is pushing at that time. It can just be different from what the kingdom is pushing at that time, whatever it might be. And that will get your life taken from you. As a humanist, the story fucking sucks. Just breaks my heart that that's even happening right now.
It does. And it's not only to me that they're on this Human Rights Council. It's also the fact that we're allies with this country. Why are we allies with this country? I would like to make a comparison because we obviously don't bring it up enough. That Venezuela. All right.
Yeah.
So, there's a lot of shit going on in Venezuela, but Maduro isn't like fucking killing people. Like there's not human rights violations really going on there.
Right.
At least not like this, right?
Can you imagine what Trump would do if an opposition party took over the streets and told them, let's go take down the military and take him down? Do you think they'd still be standing? Like, come on, let's think about it that way. Obviously, he's not a brutal dictator. The guy's still running around causing a ruckus.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. I mean, really, Guaido's acting more like a brutal dictator, telling people to go into the streets and like,
right.
Basically, let's kill some people. So, and also just fucking literally trying to take office. Take office. So,
yeah, they want to restore democracy by taking the office. It's absurd.
Yeah.
Absurd. I don't agree with Trump being the president, but that means that I'll work twice as hard when elections come around to get as many people informed enough to make the correct choice and do it democratically. You don't overthrow a government because you're throwing a hissy fit. Yeah. Ron, I know we're not even on that subject, but I have. Venezuela gets me going, yeah. So dumb.
The point still stands though. I mean, like, look at the countries that we're cracking down on, and then like look at the countries that we're like lifting up and protecting.
Yeah, we drop what is it? Democracy bombs and liberty missiles. Can't even say it with a straight face.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's absolutely insane. Because I mean, we shouldn't really support dictatorships like
anywhere. Right.
Yeah. Anywhere. And we shouldn't prop up any democracies or anything that are committing human rights violations.
Right. Talking about you, Israel.
Yeah. But either way, like, we're not the cops of the world, right? We shouldn't just go in and like demand a regime change. This is our country. We need to focus on that here. We need to get the right people in power here.
We need to get health care for our people here. Let's worry about basic human needs.
Yes, here. And I'm not against helping other countries. I'm not against cracking down on other countries when they're doing bad things. But I don't think we should do it by ourselves. I think that's what the
dictator, as world dictator.
As a world dictator, right? No, we need to be part of the UN. We really need to buy into this United Nations name and like idea where nations unite, and we put pressure on
instead of walking out of the room, you mean?
Instead of walking out of the room when the Venezuela,
if the United States just walks out of the room and just leaves my jaw on the floor lately.
Brantley says, what about Antarctica? We need democracy there. And to that, I say, I think it's time to move on to the next topic.
Yes, absolutely. Thanks, Brantley.
Thanks, Brantley. It's a really good statistic. Hashtag bomb the penguins.
No, animals are innocent. It's my favorite jam, okay?
And tuxedos. Dictators and tuxedos.
Tuxedos. They're so cute.
Really cute dictators. I support those dictators.
Me too.
All right. So I guess it's my turn. Next one up.
Tag, you're it.
Tag, I'm it. I don't have a lot of in-depth here, but this is worth pointing out. 2 weeks ago now, I think, because we're a little bit behind on everything. The bill passed the Senate. It's like for the Yemen war powers. I'm just calling it the war powers bill. I don't know if that's right or not. I forget. But so this war powers bill passed the Senate, and it went. I think you're muted, Christy, if you tried to talk.
I am.
What did you try to say? Okay, you're good. Okay. So anyways, this war powers bill, it passed the Senate, and it went to the president's office, and he did exactly what he said he would. So I'm really glad he followed up on something. But he didn't sign it. He vetoed it. So it went back to the Senate, and
so bad.
It was 53 to 45. Vote fell short of the 2/3 party majority needed to overturn Trump's veto. So we're still in Yemen.
Oh my God! There's no other expression I have but just maniacal laughter.
Yeah, so
it's an exhausting roller coaster when people are being murdered.
Yeah,
got to play this dumb game with this dumb president. Like, it's just exhausting. Sometimes I want to just get off the ride.
Yeah. There's a quote here I'm looking at. Senator Chris Murphy, he's a Democrat from Connecticut. He says, "This is about getting the blood off our hands." And I don't know why we don't want that.
Right.
Right. So it's because if you haven't heard everything that's going on in Yemen,
right,
please just look it up. It doesn't take long to see that there are human rights atrocities. Like, these are just atrocities. Like, we haven't. Okay, this is it's Saudi Arabia, right? I'm not.
Yes.
Yeah. Saudi Arabia is bombing Yemen.
Yes.
And by bombing Yemen, I mean they're not just fighting whatever rebels they say they're fighting. They're also bombing school buses and schools.
And food silos. They're grain silos.
And
they're hospitals. They're schools.
Hospitals, schools, all of that.
Right.
They're bombing civilians, right? That's never right. That's a war crime. Those are war crimes. Those are war crimes. I'd have to say it again. Those are war crimes. You don't bomb fucking
above
civilians.
The law. I don't care if there's a country, America, that puts the most amount of money in America. It doesn't matter if you do or don't. If you signed that you were part of this, you should be held accountable.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's a war crime. America will still stand after bad people get taken down.
Yeah, well, yeah.
They are not America. They are not America. They're bad actors that need to be taken down. Yeah.
So sadly, we're still supporting that. We're still refueling their jets. We sell them weapons.
Carpet bombs. We sell them carpet bombs. Do yourself a favor. Look up carpet bomb. They are internationally illegal. No country on this planet makes them because they are illegal. America makes them.
So, and we make them.
Yeah. We make them.
So that's good. And like, I don't know how dirty their carpets are, but.
Oh dear God. Sorry. I needed that. That was perfect. That's why I love you so much. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but I mean, now that I'm thinking about it, they really are treating the Yemen people like their land is carpet and they're fleas, and that's.
Well, speaking of Yemen, did you know this has nothing to do with your report because this just came out I just read it yesterday, so it's within 72 hours. Pentagon has now said, I will use quotations, that we're in it for the long haul in Yemen. That's and in Syria. And then there's Afghanistan. And then there's like, are we just going to be in these wars across on the other side of the planet indefinitely? Like, what are we doing? Why are we doing it?
Yeah, no, it's hard to say because honestly, if we look at who we have campaigning right now for president in 2020, that's really going to potentially change the playing field or let everything last longer. So if we have like a corporate Democrat or a Republican in office, like Trump, most likely Trump, we're going to keep this going on, right, for another 4 years. And if we get a corporate Democrat in office, a few things might change, but we're probably still going to fucking be in Yemen unless we really just overhaul Congress.
Right.
Like, we really have a lot of work to do. We really need. Yeah, it is, and we really need someone super progressive and someone like Tulsi Gabbard if we want to end these regime change wars. And like, are we going to be over east forever? Well, maybe if we don't get someone who's anti-war in office, and also in Congress.
The country has not had an anti-war candidate.
End of sentence. Period. Ever?
Yeah, that's really hard to think of. One that was just like adamantly. I would have to say Carter. Carter was anti. He was very pacifist in everything that he did. Yeah. But he did 4 years.
Yeah. That's my wife's favorite.
He did 4 years. Explain that one. No, there's a lot of things about Carter's administration that I didn't love. But I could say, yeah, he was. That's our best as a nation. That's our best. And we are the war machine. We're the war machine. We need to have people within the war machine fighting the system, saying, not in our name, not in my name, not in Mac's name, not in my daughter's names. No more. We need anti-war. Yeah. Tulsi's needed big time. Her voice is needed big time right now. Yeah.
We have action going on in the live chat.
Uh-oh.
Blue Collar Heathen said he heard some gunshots.
Oh. Stay inside.
Place, yeah. Stay inside.
Stay inside. Get low.
Okay.
Smoke them if you got them.
Smoke them if you got them. See, this is why I love you. So, no. Honestly, though, in all seriousness, we hope you're in a safe place.
Yeah. We really stay safe. Stay inside.
Yes. If you need to leave the podcast to go be safe, please do so.
Exactly.
Moving on, because I think we're done here.
Yep. Zips it all up.
Yeah. So we're gonna go ahead and move on to the next thing. We're just breezing through these. So
yeah.
Chrysler at the Borders.
I like it. I'm with it. Chrysler. Let's do it. Read me about the Chrysler at the border.
It's pretty serious.
I want to hear about this Chrysler.
No, it's all you. You tell me about the Chrysler.
Oh, the right one. So silly. I do smoke them if I want them, so I have no excuse except for that I'm a butthead. There's that. Put that out there.
I changed the title of it the other day.
Right. And Nacha went over a lineup before we went live, so I should have already known. It's my own fault.
It's not my bad. Also,
okay. I didn't. This story makes me laugh maniacally as well. It was just fun.
See, I told you we had fun topics.
Oh, we have fun topics. Right-wing vigilantes holding migrant hostages. How about that for some news? I haven't seen it on CNN, MSNBC, Fox, local. Haven't seen it. That's scary because if there were a group of vigilantes or just a militant group that was holding over 300 humans hostage, I would want to know about that. To protect myself if I was in the neighborhood, I would want to know about that. This isn't making a blip. Okay, so I just want to get that out there because that's my feelings on that. And because I reported on this a week ago, I've had a week to watch to see nothing. Pisses me off.
It's so sad. It's
yeah.
Because it's not important, right? It's just not important.
It's very important, and this would have been really hot news this past Friday. But it's almost better that I wasn't able to cover it till now because I've had this week to look into more of their story and to see that no one's covering it.
Yeah. Before you get into it, I want to say, because one thing that I hear from a lot of right-wingers, I'm being general, is that all Democrats, all liberals, all libtards ever want to focus on is that these illegal immigrants want to just come in and it's all children or what the fuck ever, but they never want to focus on the crimes that they commit once they get
Okay, we're talking about right-wing vigilantes holding 300 migrants hostage. 2 Wednesdays ago, the FBI arrested head of a vigilante group, a group that has repeatedly filmed itself. How smart are they? Detaining migrants at gunpoint. Like, I cannot make this stuff up. 69-year-old Larry Mitchell Hopkins is his name, is the leader of this far-right pro-Trump group. They're very adamant about why they're there. They call themselves the United Constitutional Patriots.
Oh, good.
I just wanted to pause, because that means serious, apparently. UCLA, which is a very long-standing group, has something else to say about them. They're calling this group, this United Constitutional Patriots group, an armed and fascist militia is what they're calling it. And it is under hate crimes in their organization. So this group is accused of illegally detaining over 300 migrants, including young children, mothers, doesn't matter, at gunpoint.
Yeah.
They've uploaded videos of themselves doing this, so they're not so bright. There's that.
Yeah, because I think some of them like YouTube channels of it, don't they?
Right. No. Yeah. They're everywhere at this point. They have YouTube channels. They have. Yeah.
Too much sarcasm for you.
No, I. That's why I love you.
You look like you were.
And your giggle. And your giggle. Your giggle's the best part. Okay. On camera, one of the vigilantes is heard. I don't think he understands that this can be used and will be used against him.
Right.
But is heard saying, quote, "The only problem is, if we shoot on the Hill, it will be an international crisis. Too close to the border. It would save some time, though, wouldn't it?" End quote. Also on camera, these vigilantes are heard spewing far-right rhetoric, regular right rhetoric, all of it. I mean, from just pro-Trump stuff, which is, I mean, harmless, to calling asylum seekers invaders and what they would do to stop invaders from coming into your country. And New Mexico Attorney General, his name is Hector Balderas. He has a lot to say, so I just kind of narrowed it down to something very short that would pertain to this. He says, this is a dangerous felon, talking about the leader, talking about Larry Mitchell Hopkins, I want to say his name, who should not have weapons, he says. Not around children, not around families. And today's arrest by the FBI indicates clearly that the rule of law should be in the hands of trained law enforcement officials, not vigilantes, end quote. Hopkins, the bad guy, the leader of this, he was first brought to the attention of the federal authorities in 2017. When the FBI received was training to assassinate Barack Obama, Hillary Clinton, George Soros, I could go on. Training. His arrest this past, I know
he was receiving training, or he was receiving training to assassinate them. Hold on, repeat that whole thing. I was caught off guard.
Okay. FBI received reports that his group was training to assassinate Barack Obama, Hillary Clinton. I know it's not a laughing matter, but it's just, this is where we are as a nation right now. This is not okay.
Yeah.
It's just not okay.
I think it's funny that
I think I would have hit my break in there. Yeah.
Because he is the puppet master.
George Soros. Oh,
yeah.
So funny.
Yeah.
He could pay us. I would accept it.
Yeah, I'd like some Soros money.
Yeah, I would. Yeah, whoever wants to fund to LEAH, we will accept it.
Yes.
His arrest, this the leader, this past week on firearms charges comes 12 years after he was arrested in Oregon for unlawfully impersonating a police officer. And more than 2 decades after he was convicted for illegally possessing a loaded firearm in the state of Michigan in 1996. So he's got a record. This group of vigilantes I found has a permanent encampment. So they have like headquarters. They have been evicted from this area. Local authorities have said that they have put up no trespassing signs, but I mean, obviously these guys don't care about your signs. So there's more to come on that. They are a group of volunteers, though. I did find out they're volunteers, retired vets, retired law enforcement, as well as retired special forces. And I do not know if the military vets are honorable or dishonorable discharge. I couldn't tell you. And I don't want to, I'm not trying to smear them. They would be very wonderful people. But I don't know if the ex-law enforcement were fired or removed from. It's just odd that you would be so young and be an ex-law enforcement. It just rubs me the wrong way. But I've been wrong a billion times in my life, so I could be wrong about that too. None of them seem to be too keen on following the actual Constitution or laws, local, federal, it doesn't matter. So there's that. I just wanted to put out about them. There's that. They're not too keen on following the laws they say they are there to protect. To protect us from invaders, of moms carrying their children. We're scared. We're terrified. I'm more scared of the actual reason they are fleeing their country. That's what I'm scared of. That's the truth we need to be investigating, learning about, and stopping on an international level. Stopping whatever that is, whether it's regime change or coming in and just plowing for resource, whatever it is, all of it, if it's all the above, that's what we need to stop. Not moms and families fleeing for their life. That's not our problem right now. That is not a problem, is what I want to say. It is an issue that every country has laws set up to handle, and we do. And they are handling them. It is not a crisis. It is not a crisis.
Right. No, I mean, there are crises at the border, right, because we have a lot of immigrants coming in, right? And it's not just obviously, it's not just families, right? And I don't think Christy was saying either that we just need to do the families.
Yeah, humans.
Yeah, they're all humans, right? Mm-hmm. And as I was saying before, we cut out there is that a lot of right-wingers like to only focus on the criminals that come in, right? Mm-hmm. Like they come into people's homes, they steal stuff and they kill people, or they rape someone. It was like, yeah, because there's shitty people everywhere. Like we have shitty people in the country already, and we have shitty people trying to come in, but we also have just normal good people in the country, like decent people, and we also have decent people trying to get in, right? So instead of treating all of them like they're bad, awful people, we need to treat everyone as decent people. Like
innocent until proven guilty. It is the law.
It is.
We have a law for it.
So we practice those laws that we have.
Right.
Odd, weird, yeah, right? So.
Yeah, weird.
Yeah.
Golly.
I think you pointed out earlier what one of the biggest problems is here, and it's that you watched all week, and how much coverage did this get?
Nothing.
None.
Nothing. Not even a blip.
No.
Democracy Now! And Human Rights Watch and Right Wing Watch. These are channels that if you have the time, pay attention, because they're doing the day-to-day reporting of things that are happening like this. that should be headlines, not Trump tweeted blah, blah, blah. Like, I don't care. I don't care.
They don't care. So, yeah, it's something that's ignored. And when it's ignored, the worst is seen. Right? It's just like, it's a lot like Venezuela. It's a lot like other things. Like, it's a lot with, it's a whole lot like the NRA. Right? All they focus on NRA TV is, and like you can see it in, and not memes, but like videos that they like share back and forth to each other, where someone stops a crime with a gun.
Right.
Right.
There are over 350 million people. Of course that happens.
Of course it happens.
Let's just be like.
But we just ignore it. But we just ignore it. That actually doesn't happen and never happens. We need to take guns away because guns just kill people. That's all there is to it. There's no middle ground. There's
white. There's nothing black and white like that when it comes to humans.
Right. No. And it's the same thing here. There are black and white issues here, right? There are families trying to come in. There are just men trying to come in and find better jobs, or just trying to build better homes, or not grow up in gangs, or send money back to their family in some cases.
And all of those are humanly acceptable. I just want to put those are all acceptable. Right. For me personally, those are all. They're not doing anything to hurt anybody.
Right.
And criminals should all get in trouble. There, I said it.
Oh, it's like Darth Dawkins is here.
Yay! Hello, Darth.
Yeah. Well, welcome.
Welcome.
So it's just this is insane. It's insanity that both sides aren't focused on enough. Right? They both need to be in mainstream media. We need to get all of the information, just not a narrative. And obviously, we're not focusing on both sides right now. I'm pointing out both sides because that's what we want to do here. But we're trying to give you what you haven't heard about. Because these are facts.
I think that 300 plus humans getting held hostage is a huge story, no matter the story behind it. That alone should make humans want to know more about the story. It should be on every headline. But
yeah. And what was the last thing I wanted to say on it?
Sorry.
No.
My fault.
Right. Because there are human rights organizations. There's humanitarian aid. There's groups. There's a lot of churches doing this too, and good on them. But they go out and they set water out in the desert where they know immigrants are going to pass. And that's wonderful, because finding water in the desert when you've walked thousands of miles is pretty important. It can mean life or death.
Right.
And a lot of these groups that Christy is mentioning tonight, and Border Patrol sometimes, they go out and they razor blade the water jugs. They color it and or poison it, and they write on them. And it's
the opposite of humanist. It's the opposite of humanist. Right.
Because you're just willingly
hurting,
killing someone.
Right.
You're willingly sentencing someone to death because you're afraid of immigrants. And I don't think they should just walk in. I think they walk in and just
disappear into the country. That doesn't happen.
But I think we really need to find a better way to get them in here legally, and vet them the best we can.
But not starve them.
Yeah, not starve them or make them die of
water. Right. What the hell?
It's absolutely important. So, yeah, that's that. That is that. Anyways, I think that's all we have. Anyway,
those were fun stories for a Friday night, kids.
We had laughs, we had cries.
Good old Leah.
I hope we brightened your night with these fantastic fun topics. Christy.
Oh, we're so silly. They are serious topics. We're just absolutely silly tonight. However. Yeah, share. Let people know that these things are happening. And that you don't agree, and not in your name. You just tell your senator, not in my name. Make that the title of the email, not in my name. And then state things that are not going to be in your name, you don't approve of, whatever they might be.
Yeah.
Care what letter after, I don't care where you vote. Be active. Get involved. A healthy democracy means that everybody is involved. Everybody. So, I approve. That is the message I approve.
Well approved. Well approved.
Well approved.
All right. Well, I think that's all we have for everyone tonight. Thank you so much. I'm looking at the chat, so I'm sorry.
Yeah.
but yeah.
I have this going on in front of me. What am I supposed to do? This is going on in front of me. Right.
Your big fat sweet cat. Which one is that one? Is that
Delilah.
Yes. Delilah. Thank you, everyone, for joining us tonight. We have 18 currently watching. So thank you for doing that. Please share the link. Please give us a like. Please subscribe if you haven't already. We just broke 450. We're at 452. So thank you, everyone. Yes, you guys are awesome. You guys are awesome. Thank you for being here. Thank you for giving us a reason to come back every week and keep the show going. We really appreciate it. I announced that we have a Patreon, but we haven't launched it yet. We have just a couple things to add to it, but it will be launched by the end of the weekend. It will absolutely be. So be sure to check out our Patreon. As soon as we have it launched, we'll have a link down in the description box below. So keep an eye out for it. Again, thank you, everyone. And are you trying to wink again? Are you trying to raise your eyebrow?
I can't do that. That's not fair. I can make really weird faces. And one day, Matt can share with you some. I was trying really hard, but I can't. I'm a failure.
So. All right, everyone. You have a wonderful weekend.
Happy Friday.
And Christy, close us out.
Stay humanist for Godless sake.